Er is één film waar heel Nederland op dit moment naar uitkijkt en dat is het derde deel van The Godfather. Logisch, want we hebben er 17 jaar op moeten wachten. Aanstaande vrijdag in Tros Hollywood Boulevard een gesprek met de echte peetvader van de Corleone-familie en dat is regisseur Francis Ford Coppola. Wij hopen dat u allemaal kijkt. Tot vrijdag. Maar de echte vader van de Corleone-familie die zit nu tegenover me en dat is regisseur Francis Ford Coppola. Mr. Coppola, it took you 17 years to come back with a sequel to The Godfather. How many times was Michael Corleone on your mind during that period?
I think very little, really. Like I said, when I made the first Godfather, I thought it was finished. Then I made the second Godfather, I tried to make it finished. And of course, when it came out, there was big controversy, and many people said, "Oh, Godfather 2 is not as good as Godfather 1," and you know, in many ways, doing these films is kind of a thankless task because no one's satisfied at the time. And then years went by, and both Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 improved in prestige, and people then started saying, "Oh, they're very good," you know. And my feeling was, "Oh, I wish you had said it was good when I made it, because that's when my feelings were hurt," you know. So for that reason, it wasn't a lot of fun, and you know, I was interested in doing other things. I made Apocalypse Now, I made The Conversation, I did many other films, more experimental, which is what I enjoy too. And but then the Godfather films became more and more important, and people said, "Oh, you know, there must be another Godfather." And you know, when I said I didn't want to do it, it also was because I didn't know how to do it. I thought it was finished, and you know, it's like, well, what will it be about? You know, how do you do it? So then I started to hear that they were going to other directors, and I heard, oh, this director is doing it with Sylvester Stallone, and this one, John Travolta. And you know, it's like when you have an ex-girlfriend, you hear about her and you say, "Well, I don't care," but you do care, you know. And I didn't really. I wish that they would just leave it alone and let it be finished, and not have to get me jealous or possessive of it. And then,
which you became.
Which I came a little bit, you know. And then they sent me a script and said, "Oh, here is a Godfather, third Godfather," and I was insulted that they would send me a script. You know, it's like they send to the writer a script that I wrote Godfather scripts before. How could they imagine that I would not be insulted to get this thing which they said was a Godfather film, which the story was all about drug dealers, and it wasn't even about Michael Corleone. So I told them I didn't think it was good, and that they should have emphasized Michael because he's the main character, and now, you know, they have a wonderful actor in Al Pacino, and he's a classical actor, and that they could do something, you know, like King Lear or something, you know, really full of important themes and stuff. And so they said, "Oh, really?" And then a few months later they said, "Well, would you do that?" And I said, "Wait, are you asking me that I can do anything I want if I do it about Michael Corleone?" And they said, "Well, yes." I said, "Well, let me think if I have an idea." And so then, of course, now many years have gone by. I'm an older man and much more wise and much more serious than I was, and I thought about it, and I read books about the Vatican and the Banco Ambrosiano scandal, and I got an idea, began to understand how I would do it. So when I knew how to do it, then I said, "Okay, I'll do it."
You have a very unique style of directing. Actors like to work with you. Because they told me first you shoot a scene the way you want it, and after that you take 3 takes in which the actors can do anything they like. What do you think is the best succeeded free take of the third sequel?
Well, the free take is usually I find about 6, 7 takes, and I always like to print 2 only. But when I feel I have 2 good ones, I tell the actor very often, "Listen, we have 2 good ones, so now you can do anything you want." And I know that the actor, you know, doesn't have to be frightened because he says, "Well, it's already okay, so I can't lose," you know. And very often that free take has something, you know, with a lot of vitality in it, or something new. But I don't remember
You don't know
which ones now in the film, but I know always you get something good when you, well, like any person, if you tell a person, listen, don't worry, don't have any anxiety, I love you anyway, do whatever you want, it always encourages people to, people are most wonderful when they feel not frightened.
By casting your own daughter, Sophia, you took quite a risk because, she had to endure a lot of criticism, right or not right, I don't know. Did you also prepare her for that?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I didn't know that they particularly would make such a fuss because I didn't think it was so controversial because, I had used my sister in Godfather 1 and, I guess they didn't know much about what was going on in Rome, so back in America they had to write whatever they thought would sell magazines. But I told Sophia, listen, you're going to do your work and you're going to do it as well as you can, and it really doesn't matter because those people don't know anyway. And with films, it's not what they say when the film comes out, because when I made Godfather 2, no one liked it. When I made Apocalypse Now, no one liked it. But, I assure you that 10 years from now and 20 years from now, they'll still be looking at that film, and you will be Mary Corleone.
Mm-hmm. It took a while for you to cast Andy Garcia, I understand. You saw a lot of actors. Which quality made you pick Andy Garcia?
Well, he had fire, and he looked like a Corleone. He looked like he could be Michael's son. He looked like he could be Sonny's relative, and he was very attractive, and he was a very serious actor.
How many actors did you see for the part?
About 12 or 13 very good actors. Matt Dillon auditioned, Val Kilmer, but either one didn't look Italian, or one was too old, or one was too young. Even Bobby De Niro auditioned for him.
Really?
My older Vincent.
Yeah, that would be
he would have been good too.
Yeah. At the moment, Marlon Brando is a little bit mocking with the Vito Corleone character in The Freshman. Did you see The Freshman?
No.
What did you like about the... I mean, it's funny, it's not like...
No, I would. My friends tell me I would like it.
Did he contact you about that before he did? No? Oh, well. You should see it. It's a nice movie. In the period between the second and the third Godfather, Al Pacino made Scarface, in which he is everything Michael Corleone is not. How did you feel seeing that movie?
Well, at first when I saw Scarface, I just thought it was like so excessive and so kind of overwhelmingly too much. But then when I thought about it, I realized that that's what it was about, and I ended up liking it quite a bit.
You did?
In the end, yeah, because although it was like too much, sort of, I realized, well, that's what it was about. It was about too much, And I think his Cuban was very good. He did a very... Al is a very entertaining actor.
Yeah, he is. In the movie, your daughter and Andy Garcia have this, they get involved. But there are hardly any love scenes. At least I didn't see them. Is that too much for a father to bear, to see his daughter get kissed on the screen? Or why?
No, well, there were a few kissing love scenes.
Very, very sweet.
Yeah, well, she's very young, and she was very young in the movie, and it was his cousin. And Godfather films don't have those kind of, even the other Godfather films with his wife in Godfather 1, or there's nothing in Godfather that's really the kind of more adult love scenes, but probably if there were to be those kinds of scenes, I would have been uncomfortable not only with my daughter, but any young girl. It would have to be a girl who was a little more sophisticated for me to feel comfortable to do that kind of scene.
Let's see. A lot of family members are running around on the sets of all the Godfather films. People who know you as a husband or a father or a brother, do they accept you as being in charge? Do they accept you the other way?
Well, yes, they do, but also they resist completely. It's like the family sport in the Coppola family is to not do what Francis wants.
No.
That's the role of the father. You have to be the one who has the strength, and everyone has to resist you.
So it's more difficult to direct your own family.
Well, really working as actors and as artists, no, they're very professional and they're just as much fun and as interesting to work with as other people. Where it becomes difficult is that if someone's in trouble, or if someone becomes criticized, or my sister or something, it hurts me more.
Of course. Yeah. Which Corleone family member till now is closest to your own heart?
Fredo.
And why is that?
That's what I'm like.
So you killed yourself?
Yeah, in a way, that's really true. The way I was as a little boy, and as, my mother always, I have a very handsome brother. I have a very beautiful sister, and my mother always used to say, well, August is the handsome one and the brilliant one, and Tally, she's the beautiful one, but Francis, he's the affectionate one.
Mm-hmm. So is it, why did you let him die then?
Because he was sort of like Dopey in Snow White. He made the mistake, and we all like to go to our own funeral.
Well, I sure as hell wouldn't.
You never fantasized when you were a little girl?
Yes.
Oh,
when I was very little.
If I were dead, everyone would be sad, and they would all miss me, and they would cry.
And I would like to see that. Yes, that's true. Now you say it. Yeah, that's true. Why did you have to punish Michael Corleone so much? I mean, it's not just that you let him die, you had to also lose someone.
Because his sins were very terrible. He killed his brother. You should never kill your brother.
No, you shouldn't. But he tried to show remorse. He tried to confess.
Right. Well, I thought it was important that he receive his punishment. Also to try to finish him, so I can be done with it.
So there's not going to be Godfather 4?
Well, it's not up to me. If what's going to happen with this film is going to be the same as with Godfather 2, is they're going to put me through a whole lot of fuss and controversy, and then 5 years from now they're going to say, oh, the Godfather films are so wonderful, and oh, please make Godfather 4. Then if I say, okay, I'll make Godfather 4, then he stays all the time in a silverfish and they're over budget, and then I'm going to say...
You really must hate filmmaking.
I don't hate filmmaking.
No.
I hate the kind of, I hate the fiction that comes out above it. Actually, Godfather 3 was a very, in a way, happy and well-organized production, considering that we started in April of 1989, and we wrote it and made it and came out in 1990. All I heard was, oh, it's late, oh, it's over budget, oh, it's got craziness.
All kind of terrible noises came out of that corner.
And why it came out is because no one was there. Mm-hmm. Because we wouldn't let anyone come. So when you don't invite the press in, they say, well, we'll make up stories about you.
I'm not like that.
Well, you're not like that, but...
Did you get any reactions from the church? Because, you showed them not very nicely.
No, none at all. There was one review in a Catholic paper that said that they felt that although it made use of the Vatican scandal in the typical way of a Hollywood film, they felt the film was a religious film, and that we had shown bad priests, but we also had shown good priests.
Okay, thank you.
So where did you get your information?